All right, welcome to the July 1st, 2021 Library Trustees meeting. I think we can just jump into it. Is there any public participation?
No.
No. Any correspondence?
No.
All right, so we're on to approval of the minutes from June 3rd, 2021.
Is someone taking minutes for today?
Yes, Wendy is taking minutes. Thank you for asking. Anyone have any comments about the minutes? No comments? All right. Should we make a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept them.
I second.
Awesome. So we need to roll call vote. So we'll do Mark,
Yes.
Mira,
Yes.
Kimberly. I didn't hear Kim, but that's okay.
Yes, you can.
Oh, there you are. Okay. And Wendy?
Yes.
Okay, great. So those pass. And then we are on the treasurer's report.
Okay, I have the numbers. Just look for them. The state grant numbers are $3,517,720.68.
Okay.
The building fund is $902,656.27. And the gift account is $4,458.25. I also have the Barth. Oh, sorry.
I apologize. Kimberly, what was?
Wendy, why don't you ask your question?
I'm just missing the cents at the end of the gift.
25.
Thank you.
Okay. I have the Barth spreadsheet. I'm not sure. Does that usually get emailed out? Should I have emailed it to everybody? If so, I can do that now.
Just email it around at some point.
Okay.
It needs to go into the meeting minutes.
Okay. This is from Sean said that I'm not exactly sure how they usually do it. He sent me the one for the month of May because he says that it comes out the week after. So I'm assuming that that's the correct one and that the last one we had was for the month of April. Does that sound right?
That is a really good question. We should look at the last minutes and just double check that, because if we're repeating it, do we need to include it again or include the new one when it comes out? Mark, how does that normally work?
So since we don't have the one currently for June, we would just include the one that we currently have.
Okay.
So.
That would be great to email out then, Kimberly.
Yep, we'll do.
Awesome. All right. Any other questions from the treasurer's report? No?
No, sorry.
It's okay.
No.
Well, it's not just you. Does anyone have questions for you? But it seems like other than the sense that we missed at the end, we're good. Okay. How about the Friends report?
I can do that. I had the pleasure of going to the last Friends meeting. The treasurer there noted that to date, about $9,000 had been donated to the building fund to date this year, and that the net worth was up considerably. The net currently, if my numbers are completely right, it was $29,912.14, and last year at this time it was $23,015.93. So people were pleased about that. Membership was up to 64, which is 8 more since last month. They see spikes following the newsletters, and they questioned whether or not they should be sending more newsletters, and they are planning on sending one in August before the opening. They were able to provide Kimball's gift certificates in the amount of $20 per staff member. They discussed the Altria license, which was what was used for mini golf last year, and as mini golf is not currently slated for this year, they are not going to continue that license. They are targeting next April for the can and bottle fundraiser. Historically, 1 month doing that raises between $700 and $800, and they are looking to sign up for next April. They are looking to sign up for the third Thursday in July and August. There is not one in June this year due to COVID and not having enough time to put it together. And they discussed the importance of having a face out there and connecting with the community. Similarly, they're hoping to partner and have a tie-in with Touch a Truck. There are 3 museum passes coming up, and there was a moratorium on purchases, and the current budget covers the museum passes per SAM. There was a motion to transfer $22,905.70 to the building fund, and that motion was passed. Sam shared some of the information he had shared at the trustees meeting about the library being open to the public. Everyone loves it. Summer reading is starting. The construction updates, everything is going really well and ahead of schedule. They talked about Andy retiring. The Friends will have a presence at the opening ceremonies. And the next meeting is in July 21st in the Cooper Room.
In person.
In person, live and in person.
Yes. Which is great. Thank you, Wendy. You definitely did a thorough job there with all the stuff they talked about. That was great.
Great.
All right, fundraising and public awareness. So I guess that's me. Let's see, we're kind of still wrapping things up. So Sarah and Sarah's been going through the little green light to make sure that we're talking to our donors, to make sure that their names are going to be listed correctly on the donor wall, to make sure that we reach out to people who haven't started their pledges yet. There's only a handful of those who haven't. So just to make sure they're getting our emails and have the right information. The same with the room and area naming people, or we're figuring out how to reach out to them just to make sure that their signs are correct and that that's what they want on their individual area signs. So speaking of public awareness piece of this, I do agree with the Friends, with that conversation with the Friends about trying to put a face on third Thursday. I know we don't necessarily need it for new building vote and that kind of advocacy anymore, but I do think given the COVID lull and lack of public interactions over the last year, it can't hurt us to see if we can get a booth and sit up there and just start interacting with people again and just get the excitement up about the opening of the new building. I think it'll be really nice to talk to people having that milestone coming up. So I think, Sam, you were going to see if we can get a table. I can't remember.
Is third Thursday definitely, I'm sorry, is third Thursday definitely happening? There's nothing on the town calendar about it at the moment.
I have to talk to Alicia about it. She hasn't sent out anything to the staff about it. Yeah.
Okay, so Sam's going to follow up.
Yep.
Okay, awesome.
And the date would be the 15th.
Yes, thank you. And then August was earlier too. I don't have that.
19th.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I think we can just make sure there's a presence. We can maybe even tag team if people just want to spend a short time there. Okay.
Sounds good.
Don't need all of us, but we need some of us, basically.
I'd love to be there. I have fun.
Love it. I love it. And I'll try to be there too. So at least for some
I
of
will
it.
as well.
Great. And I know there will be some friends there. So it's always nice to catch up too. And Mark, I'm probably forgetting something.
No, I think that's pretty good.
Okay.
I guess on the other thing on the public awareness is we had the tour yesterday with the
Yeah.
selectmen and Joe and Anthony. We had 4 selectmen, someone from FinCom, and Joe and Anthony, and they were all impressed with the building. I think they liked the progress, liked the building overall, thought it was a nice area. So anything to add to that, Katrina? It seemed to go very well.
It went well. All positive comments. It was good. It was well attended too, which was nice.
Yes.
All right. Let's do building project updates, Mark.
So we're still on track for So the contractor is planning on turning over the key somewhere in mid-August to the town. And then we have like 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks for a moving schedule. So I think all the furniture and everything has now been ordered. Is that correct? There's one little snafu with trying how to figure out how to lock some of the doors that Sam's working through. We're going to be talking with the PMBC and the Commodore in the next couple weeks to kind of like finalize the budget and start developing a punch list. So if you've been over recently, the plantings have started going in around the front of the building. The patio is in, the carpet is in downstairs. Upstairs, they haven't started the carpet yet, but half of the building has the drop ceiling in place throughout. The other half they're still working on. It's coming together very nicely. So
It looks great. It's definitely more and more final every time we come. I mean, we did hit a really hot day, just like groundbreaking last year. So the HVAC is not hooked up yet. Soon.
They're starting to pressurize it and testing for leaks. So
That's good. That'll be great.
Yeah, Katrina, I spoke with the movers today. It looks like they're not available until September 1st. So we're gonna have a meeting with Chip. He's the shelving guy to figure out when we can move, when he can set up the shelving in the new library, and then when we can move over the old shelving over there, and the movers can move everything else. So right now it looks like they are available around September 1st, first week of September. I spoke with Brian about it. We're all going to meet to set a firm date.
Okay. So would that push back our timeline for the potential opening stuff?
Yeah. It might be that we, the ribbon cutting would definitely need to be pushed back, I think. So we'll have to figure that out.
Okay. Maybe we can come back to that when we talk about that under new business, because we might need to do some problem solving there. Okay.
the movers said they needed 2 weeks.
They said 9 to 10 business days. Yeah. And Labor Day's in there somewhere, so I'm sure they won't.
It is. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. So how about trustee updates? Mary, you want to go first?
Sure. Went in this week, both kids signed up for summer reading, so we're enjoying being able to go back into the library, and I found the new location for the puzzle table, so I dropped an old one off. But yeah, it's just really nice to be able to go into the library and have the kids look around and find books that they choose. So we've been enjoying that.
Awesome. Kimberly?
Yeah, I've been in and out a number of times. I always have books to pick up or books to return, just like every day. And it's been wonderful seeing the librarians again. I just really missed just chatting with them like a lot. So that's been wonderful. I also got started on, I decided I'd get through 2 of the policies for this meeting. Just like I know Mark and I are going to work on them together, but I did my own little first go through of them. One of them is the policy on art exhibits and displays. And I reached out to Cheryl Hardy-Faraci today so that she could take a look at them, but she said she would do next week because I know she's the kind of the expert at how all of that goes.
Awesome. So maybe we should talk about how, under new business, we can talk about how you want to go forward with that organizing, and we'll talk in our meetings, basically. So hold on to that thought when we get to new business. Wendy, how about your updates?
I'm living the life of Mira and Kimberly. It is fantastic to be in. We have checked out our weight and books over the last week and returned half of them because we're just going through them quickly and got to see some more. So it's wonderful to be back in the building. It's been great to be part of the discussions around the upcoming opening. That's what I got.
Nice. All right, Mark.
It's been nice to be back in the building, and it's nice to watch the progress of the new building. And I will say the color's growing on people, so that's a nice thing too. I do miss the puzzle table being outside to swap puzzles, but other than that, just because I have more trouble finding where everything is now. So
Where is the
Yeah.
new puzzle table?
It's near the new books. It's right, it's
Oh.
right in the section where all the nice, the kind of heavy chairs are and the magazines and everything. It's right there.
So,
Haven't made
so
it there
did so did the new trustees find their mailboxes?
Yes. I feel silly
Not yet.
checking them because there's never anything in them.
I'll put something in your mailbox next week.
I'll put the golf ball in there for you next time. If I can find it.
We'll pass it around.
Yeah, we can pass it around. Well, I am going to echo that it's been really great to be in the building and to see all the staff as frequently as we do. And I actually got to use my key the other day for the first time. That was pretty cool. It's been way too long since I got that key. And let's see what else. It's been really fun to be part of this grand opening committee. It's really fun, the ideas that people are having. So I can't wait to talk about that a little bit later. And my kids are already reading a ton for summer reading. So they're both enjoying not only the teen room one, but the children's room one. So that's great. And I probably have other things. The tour was good yesterday. It was actually, I thought, really good to have that connection time with the select board members and Anthony and Joe. So it was good to have that time together to just have face-to-face time. It's always good to have that. All right, director's report.
Okay. So I gave the staff their performance reviews a couple weeks ago, and everybody did great. Everybody's getting a step increase if they can get a step increase. Summer reading signups have started, and Diane's already has 309 kids that have signed up in less than 2 weeks. So that's really great. Yesterday was the end of the fiscal year, and so my financial report is on my report. And yeah, we did well with payroll. We did well with spending for materials. That was pretty much all we could spend. So due to COVID, so it went pretty well. And then, like I said, unfortunately, we couldn't get the stats soon enough because today's July 1st, and it was hard to gather all of them. So I will send that out tomorrow. Yeah. Anyway.
Anyone have questions over the director's report? Or what is available of it so far?
Do you know how
So
many?
Sam,
Sorry.
go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead.
just for comparison's sake, 309 is amazing, like especially just in this short amount of time. Is there a goal number, or is there a number that we've reached in the past that we'd like to get to?
Usually it's over 500.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a way we can help with advertising to let people know it's happening?
It'll get there.
We'll get there.
It always gets there.
It trickles in.
Yeah, it trickles in.
It is hard. This is a holiday weekend, so we'll get it back. I think it's pretty good over 2 weeks. That's pretty good. I was talking to Diane and Jean, and they were saying they were slammed on the Monday and Tuesday, the last day of school, and the next day it was like everyone came in to get their books, and they ran out of covers. So they know they've had a lot of people sign up quickly. That was good. All right, Mark, you had a question or an observation?
I was going to ask some questions about the budget. So some of these things, like the personnel expenses and the town materials, so we came out with $11,000 extra. I assume that's partially because of COVID and our hours. And we turned that money back to the town effectively, right? And the town materials, we came out $700 short. So where does that money come from?
So it also in trust materials. So this year they
Well, it
gave
says town materials. There's town materials shows a negative budget of $701.
town materials and trust materials this year were the same. They just because the trustees didn't put in money, but in the past there was always a trust line. So this year there was $12,000 in the trust line, even though it actually came from the town. So that's where that money is coming from.
Okay. So on these lines, so the 11,000 on personal expenses that is left, that goes back to the town. But how much of the other money stays with the library going forward?
The state aid money, the gift money stays with the library.
And the scholarship money that we put aside, we never actually, that was money that we thought we'd spend, but we never actually moved any money, right?
Right.
Okay. And the town expenses money goes back to the town as well then? The
Right.
$2,800? Okay. Okay.
And that was partly because of the spending freeze that they had for COVID. Okay.
It was spending free, so I couldn't spend any of it.
Okay, so the things under like the trustees MMDT programming, that money we keep, the state aid we keep, and the scholarship money, which is in kind of a fake line item because we never actually moved any money. We keep that, but the rest of it is basically turned back.
Correct.
But what about the
Okay.
friends money? That,
The friends money stays.
Sorry,
Yeah.
yes, the friends money stays too. Okay.
Okay. So we've ended up in a good spot though.
So on the staffing, are we with the $11,000? Do we have an idea why we ended up with that much extra? Is it COVID and an hour change or something else?
Yeah, so I was looking at the schedule today, actually. I mean the payroll today. It looks like some people can work up to a certain amount of hours, but they're not. So that's why we end up with money going back. And then there was COVID. And that's by choice. They're just not working. Like Diane can work up to 35 hours, but she really works like 30 to 31 hours per week. And then so there's things like that. There was COVID. Julie F was on furlough. So just those sort of things kind of added up to $11,000 going back.
Okay. Okay. I'm good then. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, I just shut things down. Including what's next. What is the agenda?
old business, reopening date, reopening update.
Thank you. We have old business reopening.
Yeah. So like I said, it's going great. Things are going well. Staff is happy. Patrons are happy. It's no issues have come up. Patrons are respecting each other. Most of them wear a mask when they come in if they're not vaccinated. Yeah, it's going well.
Awesome. And staff have no concerns about the COVID stuff.
Nope, they
Awesome.
they haven't said anything.
COVID looks really good in our town right now. So I'm glad everyone's comfortable and we can celebrate. All right. Any other things to do with the opening that we should be aware of?
Nope.
Okay. And let's do some new business. How about the grand opening committee update?
So we've had 2 meetings so far, and we've come up with several activities planned, and we think we'll need up to $3,100 for the budget.
And that's a not to exceed number.
$3,100.
So I'll make a motion that the trustees allocate $3,100 for the grand opening
Second,
festivities.
second,
Okay, let's vote for that. How about Wendy
Yes.
and Mira?
Yes.
Kimberly?
yes.
Mark?
Yes.
I'm a yes too. So unanimous on that one. And then other than the date of that, so that might need to shift. So we were originally targeting mid-September for the ribbon cutting as soon as we could. And then we had targeted September 24th and 25th for like a community celebration event. So when we're thinking of the potential move impact, where are we on?
So like I said, we haven't set a firm date yet, but it looks like it's going to be the first week of September, according to the mover. So the thing is, we have to get the new shelving in there first, and then because we're taking the old shelving, that means we'll have to take all the books down as well. And so that's what I have to figure out with the OPM and the shelving vendor. So luckily they've all worked together before, and they worked in the library. Actually, they worked in the children's room when we added more shelving in the children's room. It was actually the same to the moving company we used and the same shelving company. So, and they've worked on a bunch of other projects in the past together as well. So they can definitely figure this out.
Okay. And we're probably shutting down the current building while we do the shuffle over too. But September is normally a quieter month for you guys.
Right. It's going to be right after summer readings. So September is usually slow anyway. So yeah, so we have to figure out when we're going to close, whether or not we're going to still accept books, the returns. We probably won't be able to because there won't be any place.
Won't be space.
Won't be space. We'll also have to stop van deliveries during that time. So there's a lot, but it'll help when I know an actual date. Then I can plan around that.
All right. And when do you think you'll have a date?
So the shelving guy's on vacation next week. So we have a plan to meet the Tuesday after that, which I think is the 13th. July 13th.
Yes, that is the 13th.
So on July 13th at 2, Brian and the mover and the shelver, we're all going to meet and discuss it.
Okay. Any questions about it?
So
Yeah,
personally,
in terms of sorry,
Go
Morgan and
ahead.
I keep on having. Okay, in terms of the committee work, and it sounds like it's going to be a really big thing. Are you going to need some volunteers that are outside of our kind of immediate circle, and to be is there a plan for kind of getting those volunteers on board?
Yes. So we will definitely need some volunteer hands.
Yeah.
And we left the last meeting trying to set up a timeline of the events and in what area of the library they'd be held in. And as part of that, we're going to add in the volunteer needs for each area as well. So
I think that for sure, like probably each of us could come up with a few people, right? I mean, that's
between us and friends,
but yeah, like just
and
let me know.
NHS, and yeah, I think we'll be putting the
Yeah, we've also had a few kids asking for volunteer hours.
Cool.
So yeah, we'll definitely have stuff to do there.
So I would like to see us close for as few days as possible around this. So we should figure out what we could actually provide while we're doing the moving, whether it's just, even if it's just people can't get out books from our library, but we'll still service interlibrary loan requests or things like that, right? We should try and figure out what we can do. Because it's going to be kind of weird if we tell the staff that they don't have to come in for a couple of weeks because there's, we just need to work out a plan for what everyone's going to be doing and how we can still service as much of the public as, obviously maybe we're saying that our collection will be off limits, but that doesn't mean you couldn't get something from interlibrary loan if, we can be doing something that way or something. So we should probably come up with a plan for what services we can provide so that, otherwise, I think the other problem you're going to have is when you reopen, it's just going to be even more mobbed when you told people they couldn't be there for 2 weeks and now you have a new building and they're coming back. So I think we should try and figure out what we can do. So I'm willing to work with you or Katrina or anyone to figure that out. If you want me at the shelving meeting, I can come in to the shelving meeting, let me know, and I can help work on some of these things too. So.
Okay.
Yeah, is there a way to keep computers accessible, notaries, like those kind of services too during that time
I have
frame?
no idea what the thing's going to look like while we're moving. It might not be
That might not be safe for patrons.
safe. Yeah, I have to talk to the moving company about it.
Okay. Yeah, those are good questions to learn more about.
Which it's possible they could be doing in sections. So maybe if they're doing the children's room first, then maybe the children's room is off limits, but we can have access to other parts of the building. But until I have this meeting, I can't give any answers right now.
Okay. Totally
Yeah, I wasn't asking for answers. I was asking for an idea, the plan that we try and stay as open as we safely can, right? So.
Yeah, it's going to be a Zoom meeting, so I haven't created the link for it yet, so I'll send out that when I send it. I'll send it to you and whoever else wants to be there.
Sounds
Okay.
great.
Thank you.
All right. Speaking of volunteers, so you had a lot of high school students, you said, want to volunteer, but what about like the senior volunteers, the CO, like that work
So
program?
usually that would have been Ashley.
It used to be Ashley.
Yeah, and haven't heard from her. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think in the latest COA newsletter, they sent out that signups for volunteers for this fiscal year were just starting.
Okay.
So I would guess that the volunteer assignments are going to be happening until mid-August, but I don't know.
It would be great to have them have, if that's reshelving or whatever, available to you guys so that as you're moving into the new building and figuring out your systems, hopefully that would be helpful.
Is that something that that you'll be accepting volunteers for, to help move stuff and shelve things and everything like that?
I don't think the move. I was just thinking afterwards, as they're getting settled into the new building and figuring out their way of working, having a little help.
So what's probably going to happen is you're going to have like volunteer shelf readers, right, to make sure that things are actually placed back in the right order and things like that.
Yeah, that'd be
right. So Sam, is the trailer currently empty, and can that be used for staging or anything for part of the move, or to put things in, or will it need to be used?
I haven't been in the trailer. I'm not sure if it's empty or not. Okay. I know that More Than Words came and took stuff from there, but I wasn't there when they did it.
Okay, I wasn't either, but I heard that they didn't get everything, so I don't know how empty it is, or if there should be things staged in there, or if we need to move other, friends' books or, things out into there. So
I can check tomorrow when I get to work. Before I go into the building, I'll check. I usually park next to it. Okay.
The other thing that needs to happen at some point is we need to have the discussion with Joe and Anthony about whatever we're leaving behind. If we have to dispose of it, if they're disposing of it, how it's going to be disposed of, things like that.
Yeah, I briefly talked about that with Joe yesterday, and he said we could talk next week about it.
Okay. Yeah. And I mean, one of the things the staff can do when there's downtime is just going through the storage areas and figuring out what to trash.
Yeah. I think we have a student that kind of got to us first about volunteering. And so I think that's a job Andy was going to give him, to sort of go through there and get rid of things.
Okay.
Okay. Don't get rid of the water that's there. We're going to use it for the grand opening. All right. Any other new business?
You'd mentioned talking about the policies.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. So Mark and I got together a couple of weeks ago and kind of hashed out a process where the two of us would probably take a look at them kind of one policy at a time and make our changes, and then we would present them to the trustees for kind of approval. Does that sound right, Mark? Is that what we talked about? It's already like 3 weeks.
Yeah. So the idea is Kimberly and I would go through and update the policy, present it at one meeting as an update, so that people can look at it and make comments. And then we would vote on it at the following meeting. So each policy is basically reviewed at 2 meetings. That's kind of the way the school committee was doing it, where they would do an update to basically read the new policy into the record and then vote on it at the next meeting. So people had a chance to comment and you knew what was coming up. So
I think a lot of the 2 policies that I did so far, it's mostly just at this point, for example, like Cheryl said, she's not going to kind of look over it totally until next week. But she said, for example, the art coordinator is no longer a volunteer position, it's a paid position. And just things like, is the process still that you accept things and then they all decide in September for the coming year and things like that. So I just kind of want, there's a lot of just little details that aren't major changes, just making sure it's updated to the way that we're currently doing things.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Is that 2 policies you're doing right now related to art?
No, one is the art policy and the other was the borrowing privileges policy, which has, I'm sure, a lot of, and I think part of what I'll need to know is maybe who's the person at the library who has the best expertise on a given topic. For example, borrowing privileges. Like right now, there's the overdue notices are sent after 2 weeks. Well, that's not happening anymore, right? Because they just get renewed now after 3 weeks. And so, and what happens at each period of time. And I don't know, Sam, maybe you're for this specific policy, maybe you're the person that knows that. Maybe it's Andy, who knows? But.
Yeah, you can speak with me or Andy about it.
Okay. All right, cool. So I have a feeling I didn't know if that was going to be a part of the process, but having gone through these, I was like, oh, okay, well, I definitely need some more information from someone who's been living this every day. So, and knows.
It's good to research it first before you try to make changes to it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's great. Thank you for starting that process. All right.
Yeah, thank you, and let me know when you want my help.
I will. Thanks. I got to figure out how to, I mean, it's all in PDF, so I have to figure out how to, I just printed it and made notes on here, which is not super helpful. So trying to get it into some kind of document where we could both, make updates to it.
I might have it in Word. I'll check.
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to say, do we have the Word version?
I'll have to check, but I think I do.
All right, thanks, Sam.
All right.
So long-term, Sam, does the town have like a Google Drive or something that they put these things on? I know PMBC was talking about storing documents on like a Google Drive for the originals, right? But we could put the originals on the Google Drive and then put a PDF on the website type thing, right? So
the town has a home network that we put everything on. But I don't think we have Google Drive exactly. But
whatever it is, but the equivalent of a Google Drive, or if we have a way that we can put it up there and share it as a document, it might be like a Google Doc type thing, or OneDrive, or whatever pick your technology. If there's a way we can do that as trustees, that might be a good way to maintain it, and then put a PDF up on the website.
Okay.
So
if I find them, I'll do something like that.
Thank you. I might have a copy too, but my copy might be really ancient.
Okay.
It's in paper.
Actually, yes. I have some of those too.
All right. We have reached the end of our agenda. So is there anything else anyone wants to bring up before we?
Yeah, so I've been looking at, with the changes in hours for a few of the staff, with Andy leaving, and just, being that it's summer, having more hours. So I've taken a look at the schedule with the employee schedule with Andy and the budget. And I think we can get away with opening on Tuesdays and Thursdays moving forward at 10 a.m. So
amazing.
Yeah, so there would be about $5,000 that would be left to play with. So that would be good for when we have a few staff meetings every year and everything like that. But it should work in the budget.
That's really cool, because it was really hot this week and we don't have air conditioning, and I was thinking about coming over to the library, and it didn't open till 1 and I only worked till 2, so it didn't do me any good.
Yeah, I'm there on Tuesdays at about 9 a.m. and there's always people ringing the doorbell, or I see them walk away sad, and so it's I think it would be a good thing for the public.
I do think going forward, you're going to find more people working remotely and needing, like, we don't have AC either. So that was a relief this week to be able to go to the library.
Yeah. Just wanting to get away from their house for a few hours too. Just change of environment. That's my go-to.
Mine too.
And you said the staff is available to work those extra hours too?
Yeah, the staff have been really great. I've asked for I'm doing the schedule now. Andy used to do it, and so I figured I should start since she's leaving. So I started, I've been reaching out to all the staff, and they're all really great about it. I'm putting myself into a few shifts just so that I can be around with the patrons. So I'm going to be on Tuesday nights, Thursday mornings, and all day Friday, alternating days. So yeah, you'll see me at the desk more. So that's a big part of how this was able to work out. And plus with Andy leaving, that means a step change for whoever the new person is. She, by the way, she handed in her actual letter of resignation today. So I shared that with the HR department, and I'm trying to get them to work with us about posting a new job so that we can have someone shadow Andy for a little bit before she actually leaves us.
Not that, I mean, maybe this is none of my business to know. Has anyone expressed interest internally in moving into her position?
Not yet. Not
Okay.
yet. But I will most likely post it externally to get in as many people. But like I said, I have to work with the HR department. I think the town is working on hiring a new HR person. So I think we might have to wait until that person's actually in their role. But yeah, so
Sam's gonna be tight.
yeah, but yeah, the staff have been great. I think it's gonna work.
Does Andy have a final date set yet?
October 1st is the date she put in, but she has a ton of vacation time, like a lot of vacation time. So I'm not sure how much of it she's actually going to take, but yeah, the date she gave was October 1st.
Is there anything planned for her? A plaque in the new library, something like that, and something honoring her. Is that in the works?
Yes.
Okay. It's been so many years.
We can talk about it offline, Kimberly.
Okay.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys need to vote or can I just do it?
I don't know. Sam, do we need to vote?
So when do you want to start this, Sam?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was going to say. So the new payroll period starts on July 13th. So I thought on July 13th.
Okay. And we're going to permanently change our hours then from 10 to 4 Monday, Friday, Saturday, and 10 to 8 Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So just for the new trustees, we talked about actually we talked probably before COVID hit about potentially adjusting our hours to figure out to make them more consistent and figure out when people needed. So this is part of that effort, I think. The staff also found that most people, the library was typically fairly empty between 8 and 9 p.m. when we were open till 9 on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And if there were no programs going on, the library was typically empty then. So everyone agreed that we should pull in from 9 to 8 and reallocate those hours elsewhere. There's also the feeling that in the new building where it will be easier to hold programs after hours where people can still get we can allow patrons and things into the building after hours and still secure the building, that the staff wouldn't necessarily have to be there to support like trustees meetings or things like that were happening later in the day. So I think that the hours are a great idea. My only complaint is I wish we could be open later on the days that we're closing at 4. So
it's
we'll
that
get there
requires
someday.
yeah. Well, I want Sunday hours too. So so I will make a motion that we change the hours going forward to 10 to 4 on Monday, Friday, and Saturday, and 10 to 8 on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, effective July 13th.
I will second.
Great.
I'm sorry. Who seconded? Was that Mira?
Mira.
Yeah.
Okay, Mark.
Yes.
Kimberly.
Yes.
Wendy.
Yes.
Mira.
Yes.
And yes too.
Great. We'll start advertising that.
Are the hours on the sign anymore out front?
Yeah, I think so. It should be.
And can someone just repeat the hours? I just want to, typing and listening is not working here.
10 to 4, Monday, Friday, Saturday, 10 to 8, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Thank you.
Exciting.
And the
That's
plan
great.
is to carry this forward to the new building with us. We're not assessing this, at least not immediately.
Well, when Andy leaves, I'll probably have to reassess it, but the 10 o'clock opening will stay the same.
I remember you said there were like seniors on Tuesday, Thursday, standing in the hall waiting for you to open at 1. So.
Yeah, there's
Andy did, I think.
always someone coming at Tuesdays, Thursdays. They don't look at the sign, even though the hours aren't there, and they ring the doorbell and they're upset.
I've done that. So I think this is a good thing. I like that we're changing it for where people want it to be open. So that's great. All right. Anything else?
So for me.
All right. Was that quick enough for you, Mark?
Yes, thank you.
We need the final motion.
Someone else want to make a motion?
To close the meeting, is that what it is?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so we'll move, making a motion to close the meeting. Is that it?
A second.
All right. And our next meeting is August 5th. So is what it said as. So we have Kimberly. I get a
Yes.
Mira,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
and Wendy just disappeared, but I'm a yes too. So we'll
Okay.
see you all August 5th.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Good night.